how did the gathering for what Texas Scratch came to be? How did it come about? What were you doing? I mean, it's 13 years ago. There's Buddy, Jeff, Vinny, there's even Roger Earl in there who had an involvement along with others. So how did it come about? Were you just sat around a studio thinking, let's get together and do something?
No, not at all. There was a guy from Long Island, New York City, named Arnie Goodman. He initiated this project. He had the means, and he had some connections, and the idea was to have us all convene. He put the lineup together. We would all convene in New Jersey, which is like 1,500 miles from Texas, to record this album. And we all said, sure, we'd love it. It sounds like a great idea. It's, I'm all up for new things and working with talented people. So that was great. And we all came in individually, armed with our own songs, and we learned everything and taught everybody else the songs on the spot, worked the arrangements up on the spot, and recorded it in like 4 or 5 days. And it was mixed and mastered after I had gone home. But that's how it started. It was a third party that brought us all together.
It's quite rare, isn't it? Because there were no rehearsals, and you literally, as you said, just went in, laid it down, and it took 4 days to do. And the fact that you're coming in with all but one song being an original. And when you look back throughout the course of history and you look at interviews of great musicians and whatever, when they look back on their greatest musical moments, they always look to times like these, where there wasn't years to do it. It was done in a day. It was done somewhere a million miles away from everywhere. And it just all came together, which is pretty much the story here.
Right. It's really easy to overthink everything. There's so many rabbit holes you can go down, and sometimes the first thought is the best thought. And sometimes the best songs are recorded on poor equipment with cheap instruments. The song may speed up or slow down, but there's still great songs. I think there's too much polish on a lot of things today. But I think that initial impulse is what you want to capture.
The place needs a bit of mention, doesn't it? You're in New Jersey, the Showpiece Studios, which is located at the back of a building which housed something called the Showcase Go-Go Lounge, where they used to bus in Russian dancers every day.
Exactly. It was it was a Russian mob thing, very oppressive and depressing vibe in there. I did go in there and had a beer once, but it was it was just a real downer. It was like everybody looked miserable. So I was like, I'm not digging this.
So what were your thoughts then when the completed projects dropped on your doorstep or wherever it did, and you sat and listened to it for the first time? Because I assume as you'd all gone home, all the mastering and the engineering process was done afterwards. So you weren't all together when you heard it at the same time. So what was it like? What did you think initially, your initial reaction?
Oh, I was pleased with it. I mean, the whole process was enjoyable, and everybody's great to work with. Everybody was seasoned and knew how to proceed and work efficiently and respectfully. And so, but I was pleased. But you must remember, this was completed in October of 2009. So, but I was hearing stuff. It wasn't too long after that, and I've had it here. I've had the recording here unreleased for some time, and just I wasn't thinking about it. I've kind of given up on it until I guess early this summer. I'm sitting in a restaurant scrolling through my Instagram feed, and I see that the album has been released digitally, which was a shock to me and everybody else involved, because at that point none of us had been contacted about it, which is a unique marketing strategy. But
incredible. So you had no idea that this had actually come out?
No, but I was aware that the physical product came out when that was released.
Yeah.
That was a months later, and Yeah, I was shocked, pleasantly surprised, but I tried to push for this thing to be released for many years, and I can't really tell you why because I don't know. It wasn't released. I think it was just that the first situation where it was planned to be released fell through, or something happened there, and then it was shopped and then just sat on the shelf.
You actually did a few festival gigs together as well, didn't you? After the recording process had been done, how did it feel to actually play it in the live environment, and what was the reaction like?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I really love these songs, and I love playing with Buddy, and I don't think Vince was there. I'm not sure what was going on, why he wasn't there, but um, it went well. We did two festivals in Canada, one in London, Ontario, and the other was in Windsor, which is right on the U.S. border across from Detroit. And it went well, but I think that was in 2010 or 11.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's been a minute, yeah.
The beauty of the album is that it has this timeless blues, rock, soul feel. So there's no dating to it. I mean, it could be released any time, but it's just a great sounding album.
Yeah, I really like the production on it, and that was Ben Elliott, who owned the studio, Showplace Studios in Dover, New Jersey, who sadly passed away maybe a couple of years ago, as well as the bass player on the project, Nathaniel Peterson. So, I mean, that's how long this thing sat on the shelf. Two of the parties involved had passed away, sadly. A lot of the influences, I would say, mainly were from like the stuff Buddy and I grew up on here in Texas, like uh, ZZ Top, who was huge in Texas. That they could sell as many tickets as the Stones or just about anybody. They were so big here, and I'm talking pre-Eliminator, before
Yeah, yeah.
the Beards, synthesizers. The first 4 or 5 albums were hugely influential on Buddy and I, as far as the material, the approach, the tones. We were in love with Billy Gibbons' guitar tones, and again, all that stuff was produced by Terry Manning.
Yeah, Rio Grande Mud. Fabulous, fabulous.
Yep.
So tell me, what is next with this project? Are there any thoughts that you could pull together and record something else again? I mean, I'm assuming that you've spoken to those that are still around, and they clearly have the same view as you, which is, wow, this is a great album. We could have done 4 more in the time we've waited for this. So, what is the plan?
We would love to do something else. We're just kind of in that tunnel right now of promotion, and we're doing some shows. There is a geographical consideration because Buddy and I live about 30 or 40 miles apart, but our drummer Jeff Simon lives in the Philadelphia area, which is near New Jersey, 1,500 or so miles away, and Vince Converse, the other guitar player, the third player, lives in Denver, which is like 14 hours by car from where Buddy and I live. So right now, Buddy and I are just doing some gigs in the North Texas area to promote it, but we're looking into 2024 to do some festival dates and theater stuff. We'd love to come to the UK. I know Buddy has a good fan base there as a result of his tenure with John Mayall and the BLUESBREAKERS.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Buddy's one of those players where sometimes I just like stand there. I stop playing and watch because I'm so impressed by what he's doing.